Hey there, Bills Mafia! Welcome back to the channel that bleeds red, white, and royal blue. This is your go-to spot for everything Buffalo Bills, and today we've got another exclusive insider scoop that you won't want to miss. Now listen, this offseason, the Bills are grinding harder than ever. The front office, the coaching staff, the players, everyone's putting in the work to fine-tune this roster for a deep playoff push. You can feel it. This team is hungry to get better, hungry to break through, hungry for a Super Bowl. So, before we jump into today's breaking story, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. We're bringing you the latest from Orchard Park on Beyond every single week. Let's go! All right, Bills Mafia, let's get right to the heart of the conversation. Ask General Manager Brandon Beane, and he'll tell you straight up, we've got what we need at wide receiver, but if you've been watching closely, like we have, you know this group still feels incomplete. Khalil Shakir is penciled in as WR1, and yeah, the guy has flashed serious potential, but can he really carry the full load as a top option in a playoff chase? That's still a huge question mark. Then there's rookie Keon Coleman. He's got size, physicality, and sky-high potential, but he's unproven. Behind them, a mix of Elijah Moore, Joshua Palmer, Curtis Samuel, and Laviska Shenault Jr. Decent depth. Sure, elite firepower, not quite. And if you're serious about bringing the Lombardi Trophy to Buffalo, decent doesn't cut it. So, what if I told you the Bills have two ideal trade targets sitting on the market right now who could round out this roster without breaking the bank? Let's get into it. First up, Romeo Doubs of the Green Bay Packers. Now listen, this guy won't lead the league in receiving yards, but what he brings to the table is exactly what the Bills need. Red zone efficiency, physical toughness, and dependability. Doubs has 15 touchdowns over the past 3 seasons, and he's been a reliable target in the clutch. He's not flashy, but he moves the chains, and most importantly, he gets open in tight spaces. That's huge when you've got a quarterback like Josh Allen, who thrives when his receivers find gaps in the zone and battle through coverage. And the best part, he's cheap. If George Pickens just went for a 3rd rounder, you're looking at giving up maybe a 5th or 6th round pick for Doubs. That's nothing compared to the upside. But there's more to this story. Doubs' time in Green Bay appears to be winding down. He was suspended late last season for missing practices and meetings, and even admitted he mishandled the situation. I absolutely wish I would have handled things differently, Doubs told ESPN. It's much bigger than just me finding my role. Just here in this league, it's about winning football games. That's a man who's hungry for a fresh start, and guess what? Buffalo is the perfect place for it. With Josh Allen slinging it, Doubs could carve out a serious role, especially in red zone packages. Let's talk about another name that's buzzing around the league, Marquise Hollywood Brown. Now you're probably saying, hold up, didn't the Chiefs re-sign him? Yes, they did. But here's the catch. They also drafted Jalen Royals, a rising star who's already pushing for reps. That makes Brown expendable. And according to sources, he might be available for a late-round pick. If that's true, Brandon Beane should already be on the phone. Let's rewind to 2021. Brown had 91 catches for over 1,000 yards with the Ravens. That's no joke. He's a legit vertical threat who can take the top off a defense. And let's not forget that he's still just 27 last season with Kansas City. He was limited due to injury, only 91 yards on 9 catches. But when healthy, he's a dynamic playmaker. And here's the kicker. Patrick Mahomes loves it. When your rival's QB is publicly praising a receiver's impact, maybe that's a sign you should snatch him before they realize what they're losing. You throw Hollywood in there. It kind of sets everybody perfectly in their roles. Mahomes, Chair said, Hollywood has made a huge impact on this offense. Now imagine Allen to Brown deep down the sideline in January football. Yeah. I know you felt that. Now, to be fair, Brandon Beane is standing his ground. He believes in this receiver room, and he's not shy about letting people know it. Here's what he had to say when asked if the Bills are lacking at wide receiver. You guys would be tiny in 2018 about Josh Allen. You wanted Josh Rosen. Now, you're bitter that we don't have a receiver. We just scored 30 points a game for 8 straight games without Stephon Diggs. How is this group not better than last year's group? Let's be real. Beane has a point. The offense did produce, but even the best offenses need that one extra weapon to take the next step. That's why adding a guy like Downs or Hollywood Brown on team-friendly terms isn't a knock on Shakir or Coleman. It's about completing the puzzle. While we're talking about rounding out the roster, let's not forget the defense. Buffalo made a splash this offseason by signing Joey Bosa to a one-year, $12.6 million deal. But here's the surprise. According to Bleacher Report's Matt Holder, Bosa might not even start week 1. Holder predicts that A.J. Epenesa could hold down the edge position, while Bosa plays a rotational role early on. That's not a knock, it's strategy. Bosa is coming off another injury-riddled season. Even though he still made the Pro Bowl, the Chargers had him on a snap count, and the Bills may do the same to preserve him for the playoffs. Meanwhile, Epenesa had 6 sacks and 8 tackles for loss in 2024. Quietly, one of the most consistent performers on defense. If Bosa can mentor him and stay healthy, watch out. This could be a fearsome rotation come December. So where do we stand, Mafia? The offense looks dangerous, but could use one more proven wide out. The defense has potential to be elite, but needs Bosa healthy and engaged. And the front office? They're walking a tightrope between confidence and complacency. But if Brandon Beane can pull the trigger on one of these low-cost, high-upside trades, it might just be enough to put the Bills over the top in 2025. Remember, we were this close last year. AFC Championship loss to the Chiefs again. That can't happen again. All right, Bills fans, let's not sugarcoat it. James Cook, one of the most electric backs in the AFC, is heading into the final year of his rookie deal. But here's the twist. We don't know if he's coming back in 2026. And honestly, we don't even know if he's going to suit up at all in 2025. Cook was asked about a possible holdout recently, and he didn't exactly slam the door on the idea. His response? Quote, I necessarily don't want to talk about it right now. Just let the business take care of the business. That, my friends, is what you call leaving the door wide open. And while Brandon Beane has stayed cool, calm, and collected, saying he expects Cook to report until 4 walks through those doors at One Bills Drive, we're all just guessing. Now, here's where it gets real interesting. According to Sports Illustrated's Richie Bradshaw, the Bills may already have one eye on the future, and more specifically, the 2026 NFL Draft. His latest mock draft has Buffalo going all in on a new back. Tulane standout, now Oregon Duck. Maki Hughes, Bradshaw says, and I quote, it seems inevitable that James Cook will move on from the Bills, who should take advantage and run him into the ground before letting him go. Whew, that's a harsh take, but it reflects a growing belief that Cook might price himself out of Buffalo's plans. So let's talk about this potential replacement. Maki Hughes is no slouch. Over the last 2 years at Tulane, the kid rushed for 2,179 yards and punched in 24 touchdowns. And this isn't just some straight-ahead power back. Hughes has burst, he's elusive, and he's got that make you miss kind of shiftiness that you just can't teach. And get this, in 2024, he began to flash some serious upside as a receiver too, racking up a career-high 176 yards through the air. Now with Oregon, he's stepping into the national spotlight. With a new quarterback and big-time expectations, if he performs, Hughes could absolutely be a day-1 pick, and the Bills might just be the team to call his name. Alright, so what does all this mean for this upcoming season? Well, let's break it down. First, Cook is still under contract. If he doesn't hold out, he's your RB1, no question. He's got the vision, the burst, and the versatility that fits perfectly with Josh Allen's offense. But if Cook does decide to sit out, or if contract talks go sideways, the Bills will be relying on Ty Johnson, Ray Davis, or even a potential midseason pickup. That's not ideal, especially for a team with Super Bowl ambitions. And let's be real, with Stephon Diggs gone and a wide receiver room still figuring out his pecking order, having a dynamic back like Cook in the fold could take a lot of pressure off Allen. So yeah, this situation matters. Here's the other side of the coin, the salary cap. Buffalo has to start thinking long term. We've got Josh Allen's deal on the books, potentially extensions for guys like Ed Oliver or even Keon Coleman down the road. You can't pay everybody, and running backs, unfortunately, are often the odd man out. Cook is going to want somewhere in the $10 million per year range. And while he's earned the right to ask for it, Beane has to think about roster building as a whole. That's where a rookie like Hughes comes into play. 4 years of production on a rookie contract, that's gold in today's NFL. So let's say this thing with Cook plays out the way Bradshaw predicts, and the Bills draft Maki Hughes in 2026. What kind of player are we getting? Well, imagine a blend of physicality and finesse. Hughes isn't just a between the tackles bruiser. Though he can punish defenders, he's also got breakaway speed, great balance, and a nose for the end zone. Basically, he's built to be a 3-down workhorse. That's exactly what the Bills would need if they move on from Cook. I'm pairing him with a maturing offensive line, plus the ever-dangerous Josh Allen. That's a nightmare for defensive coordinators. Now, let me play devil's advocate for a second. Is it possible the Bills do get something done with James Cook? Sure, absolutely. If the money works and both sides want it, there's a chance he signs an extension before camp even begins. Cook has become a reliable weapon for Allen, especially in the passing game. His growth in 2024 was undeniable. And let's not forget, he's only 24 years old. His best football could still be ahead of him. But, and it's a big but, if talks drag on into the season, don't be surprised if Beane starts working the phones or eyeing Hughes and others in next year's draft class. Now it's your turn, Mafia. I want to hear from you. Would you trade for Romeo Doubs or Hollywood Brown? Do you trust Shakir and Coleman to beat a 1-2 punch this season? And what's your take on Joey Bosa? Should he start or play on a pitch count? Drop your takes in the comments below. I'm reading all of them. Let's get this conversation started. And hey, if you made it this far, you're a real one. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications. We're dropping exclusive Bills content every week, from trade rumors to locker. Room buzz, this team is close, you can feel it. 1 or 2 moves away from greatness. Let's ride into 2025 together. Go Bills.